Hello. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing good today. I am Miss Jenna, and I'm a graduate student at the University of Cincinnati. And I'm back today with another storybook for us. I'm sure that you all have heard and read and watched the story that I'm about to read to you all. Hello, Miss Krista. Good morning, everyone. We'll just wait just a minute and see if we get anybody else to come on and watch our live today. So this book that we have, it's a little bit longer than usual. So we're going to read it and then we're going to talk a little bit about it. And if we have any more time at the end, then maybe we'll do a little activity. But our story for the day is Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2. Have any of you all read this story before? I used to watch the show all the time when I was little, and I loved it. But I think it's so much fun because they go on all kinds of adventures, and they have so much fun together. And I also think it's really sweet looking at their friendship, because Winnie the Pooh is a bear, and Tigger is a tiger, right? And they're friends. Okay, so Walt Disney's Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2. And we have Tigger with his long tail, and we have Winnie the Pooh on his back. We have, it looks like a dragonfly and a bird. And our spine of the book says the same thing, Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2. Now, Walt Disney, he is the writer of this book. But also, do you know what else Walt Disney has? He created something, and it's in 2 places in the United States. It's Disney World and Disneyland. Have you ever been to either of those? I've been to Disney World, and it was so fun. Okay, so let's get started. One morning, Winnie the Pooh was on his way to visit his friend Piglet. Although Pooh's head was stuffed with fluff, he was a cheerful fellow. As he walked along through the woods, he was humming a song to himself. So he's walking and going, What song do you think he's humming? Pooh did not look where he was going. All of a sudden, someone bounced into him. Pooh found himself flat on the ground. Tigger was sitting on his tummy. "Hello, Pooh," said Tigger. "It's a fine day for bouncing." Look, he bounced right into him. Tigger helped Pooh get up. "Thank you, Tigger," said Pooh. "I was just thinking it's a fine day for going to visit Piglet." "I was on my way to see Rabbit," said Tigger, "but I will come along with you." And Tigger bounced away. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Look, he's bouncing away. Tigger bounced on ahead of Pooh. He bounced so fast, and he bounced so far, that he bounced right into Piglet. He bounced into Pooh, and then he bounced into Piglet. He's got to be more careful. "Tigger," cried Piglet, "you scared me." "I'm sorry," said Tigger. He helped Piglet get up. "Now I'm off to see Rabbit," said Tigger. "Why don't you and Pooh come with me?" Away he bounced again. Bounce, bounce, bounce. He's bouncing all over the place. Tigger bounced into Rabbit's garden. Rabbit was busy counting his carrots. Suddenly Tigger bounced on top of him. "Hello there, Rabbit," said Tigger. "Tigger, you're a pest," cried Rabbit. Look, he was counting his carrots. Let's see how many he has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 carrots. Wow, that's a lot. Oh, look, and they all went flying away when Tigger ran into him. When Pooh and Piglet reached the garden, they helped Rabbit to his feet. Rabbit was very angry at Tigger. "Why are you always so bouncy?" he cried. Ooh, look at his face. Ooh, he does not look happy. He looks very angry. "Bouncing is what I do best," Tigger said, and he began to sing. "The wonderful thing about Tiggers is, Tiggers are wonderful things. Their tops, their tail are made of rubber, their tails are made of springs. They're bouncy, trouncy, flouncy, pouncy, full of fun, fun, fun. The most wonderful thing about Tiggers is, I'm the only one." He's the only Tigger? That's special. By the time Tigger bounced away, Rabbit's whole garden was ruined. Oh no, it's ruined. How do you think Rabbit's going to feel about that? He's not going to be happy, that's for sure. Later that day, Rabbit came up with a splendid idea for unbouncing Tigger. What does that mean? How can you unbounce a Tigger? That's what he does best. He told Pooh and Piglet about it. "We will take him on a long explore and leave him in the woods," said Rabbit. "When we go back to get him the next morning, Tigger will not be so bouncy." Huh, why would that make him not be so bouncy? That is a splendid idea, said Piglet. "What do you think, Pooh?" But Pooh was sitting in a cozy chair, and he had fallen fast asleep. Piglet poked him. "I think it's a splendid idea," said Pooh after Piglet told him all about it. Piglet had to tell him about it again because he was sleeping. He got in that cozy, warm, comfy chair. He fell asleep. The very next day, Rabbit, Pooh, and Piglet took Tigger into the woods. "When we come back to get Tigger tomorrow," said Rabbit, "the bounces will all be gone. He'll be a sad Tigger, a sorry Tigger, a rabbit I'm so glad to see you Tigger." Oh, they're going to leave him in the woods. And they said he's going to be sad and he's going to be sorry and he's going to be, "I'm glad to see you." But we don't want him to be sad. I guess that's how they think he's going to stop bouncing. Tigger bounced farther and farther away. He did not know about Rabbit's idea to leave him in the woods. How do you think he'll feel once he figures out that they left him? I think he'll feel sad, maybe even hurt. His feelings might be hurt. The three friends found a hollow log. That means it's empty on the inside. "Quick," said Rabbit, "hide inside." They climbed into the log. Tigger soon came back to look for them. "Hello," he called. No one answered. Oh no. Look, he's looking for them, and they're hiding from him. Tigger stood on top of the log. He called to his friends again. They still did not answer. They must be lost, thought Tigger, and he bounced away to find them. Oh, look, they're hiding from him as he's yelling for them. Then he bounced away to find them. As soon as Tigger was out of sight, Rabbit, Pooh, and Piglet started home. After a while, they came to a sand pit. "Something is wrong," said Piglet. "I'm sure we passed by here before." "Nonsense," said Rabbit. "Keep walking." Uh-oh. What do you think is wrong? Piglet said, "I think there's something wrong." Soon they came to the sand pit again. "I believe we're lost," said Pooh. "We have been looking for a home, but we keep finding this sand pit. Maybe if we start looking for this sand pit, we will find our way home." Oh no. What do you think they'll do? They're lost. I'm sure I know the way, said Rabbit. You two wait here, and I will find it. Pooh and Piglet waited for Rabbit. They waited and waited and waited, but Rabbit did not come back. Oh no, look, they waited and waited and waited. Uh-oh. At last, Pooh took Piglet's hand. Let's follow my tummy, said Pooh. Whenever I get hungry for honey, my tummy leads me home. Sure enough, Pooh's tummy found the way. Just as they came out of the woods, Tigger bounced into them. He found them. He bounced right on top of them again. Oh, Tigger, said Pooh. Rabbit is lost in the woods. Tiggers never get lost, said Tigger. I'll go back to find him. He bounced away. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Meanwhile, Rabbit was all alone in the darkest part of the woods. He was very, very lost. Every time he looked around, he thought he saw someone watching him. He heard all sorts of scary sounds. Oh man, he's all alone and he's hearing scary sounds, and he said he thinks someone's watching him. Do you ever feel like that? Maybe when you're alone, your mind kind of takes off and makes you think scary things. Peck, hoot, chomp, croak, hiss. Those are all the scary sounds he's hearing. Look at him. Does he look scared? Yeah, he looks really scared. Then Rabbit heard someone creeping in the bushes. Help, Pooh! Help, Piglet! He shouted. Suddenly, he was bounced to the ground. Tigger! Rabbit cried. I am so glad to see you. Oh, wow. He's happy to see him now, but what did he do earlier? Remember? It was his idea to leave Tigger in the woods all alone. That's not very nice, is it? Tigger led Rabbit out of the woods. Poor Rabbit! His splendid idea for unbouncing Tigger had not worked out very well. So let's think. The rabbit wanted to unbounce Tigger. So he wanted to change him because he was getting on his nerves. He said, Tigger, you're being a pest. And now Tigger came to the rabbit's rescue when he was lost in the woods, didn't he? I wonder if the rabbit's going to feel bad. Bright and early the very next morning, Tigger went to Kangas' house. Kanga was busily sweeping the yard. May I take Roo for a walk with me? Said Tigger. Of course, dear, said Kanga. Oh, look, it says Kanga and Roo. They have their own mailboxes. They're kangaroos, isn't that funny? As Tigger bounced along, Roo rode on his back. Can Tiggers climb trees? Asked Roo. That's what Tiggers do best, said Tigger. I will show you. Oh no. What trouble do you think they're going to get into? He's going to show him how to climb a tree. That sounds dangerous. Tigger found a tall tree and he bounced from branch to branch. He bounced up. Ooh, Tigger, squealed Roo. He bounced higher. Ooh, Tigger. Roo squealed again. Oh, how did they look? Look at Roo's face. He looks very happy and very excited. Oh, look, Tigger does too. They're both smiling really, really big. Tigger kept bouncing higher and higher. Soon they were near the top of the tree. Oh my goodness, I would be so scared. It's so high up. Oh wow, look how high up he is. But where's Roo? Uh-oh, let's see. Oh, there he is. I found him. When Tigger looked down, he was very scared. Why was he very scared when he looked down? Maybe because they were up so high and he was scared to fall down to the ground. That would be scary. How did this tree get so high? He cried. Isn't it fun? Said Roo. No, answered Tigger. I forgot to tell you, Tiggers can't climb down. Hooray! Squealed Roo. We'll stay here forever. What? He's excited? Look, the little Roo is so excited to be stuck up in that tree forever. But how is Tigger feeling? Can you see his face? How do you think he's feeling? He's not excited. I think he's terrified. He's probably up there shaking. Ooh, but Roo is excited. Just at that moment, Pooh and Piglet came by. They happened to look up at the tree. Piglet, whispered Pooh, there's a jaguar. Are jaguars fierce animals? Cried Piglet. I'm not really sure, said Pooh. Let's walk a bit closer and see. Oh, look. Pooh and Piglet are seeing Roo and Tigger up in the tree. Look, and he says, jaguars. What's a jaguar? I've never heard that word before. What do you think a jaguar is? Do you think they mean jaguar? I've heard of that animal before. When Pooh and Piglet reached the tree, they saw Tigger and Roo near the top. Hello, called Roo. Tigger is stuck. Don't worry, Tigger, called Pooh. We will get Christopher Robin. He'll think of a way to rescue you. Do you all know who Christopher Robin is? I think we're about to meet him. Let's see. Before long, Christopher Robin appeared. He ran to the tree with Rabbit and Kanga. I do hope Tigger has learned his lesson, said Rabbit. Maybe he'll stop bouncing now. Rabbit wants him to stop bouncing again, even after he rescued him. Christopher Robin took off his coat. He told everyone to hold on to a corner so Roo could jump into it. Oh man, that sounds scary. So he's going to use his coat as a place for Roo to land into. After Roo came tumbling down, Christopher Robin called to Tigger. Now it's your turn to jump, he said. Tiggers don't jump, they bounce, said Tigger. But if I ever get down from here, I promise to never bounce again. Never bounce again? How would he get around? Did you all hear that? Cried Rabbit. He promised to stop bouncing. Wow. Do you think he means it? Look, they're down there waiting for him so he can fall into the jacket and they can save him. Tigger closed his eyes and let go of a tree. Down, down, down he fell. He landed on the coat with such a thump that everyone fell backwards. Tigger was happy to be down. He started to bounce. Oh no! Look, he promised them that he would stop bouncing around, and then as soon as he landed, what did he do? He got so happy that he started to bounce. Oh, silly Tigger. But Rabbit held up his hand. No bouncing, Tigger, he said. You promised never to bounce again. That's right, said Tigger. I did. Tigger began to walk away. Without his bounces, he was a very sad Tigger indeed. Aww, look at him. Look, the rabbit is scolding him, kind of yelled at him and said, "No, you said you would not bounce again." And Tigger said, "Oh, yeah." And then he started walking away. Poor guy. Roo watched his unhappy friend. "I like the old bouncy Tigger better," he said. "So do I, dear," said Kanga. "So do I," said Pooh and Piglet. Everyone looked at Rabbit. "Well," said Rabbit, "so do I guess." Oh, that's nice. Everyone likes Tigger when he's happy. Even Rabbit said, "So do I guess." What do you think's gonna happen now? All of a sudden, Tigger came bouncing back. "Do you really mean it, Rabbit?" he cried. "May I have my bounces back?" "Yes," said Rabbit, "I really mean it." "Hooray!" said Tigger, and off he bounced, happy to be his bouncy old self again. Bounce, 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 bounce. Oh, isn't that sweet? His friends wanted him to be just like he was in the beginning. And that's the end. Wasn't that a sweet story? I loved learning about Pooh and Piglet and Tigger and Rabbit and Roo and Kanga. All right, so do you all remember yesterday when we talked about the parts of a story? We talked about the characters, and we talked about the setting, and we talked about the outcome of the story. So let's talk about that just for a couple more minutes before we have to go. So I want to see if you all remember what those words mean to describe parts of the story. So do you remember what characters are? Characters in the story are the people or things that we read about, right? So this title gives us a hint. Winnie the Pooh and Tigger too. So right away we know that Winnie the Pooh and Tigger are going to be some of the characters in the story. Yeah, characters can be people, animals, things, whatever we talk about in our story. So we have Winnie the Pooh. We have Tigger. We have Piglet. Can you think of some more? Remember? Who was counting their carrots during the story? The rabbit. Yes, remember he had 8 carrots that he was counting. Who else? I remember there was another couple. Let's see if I can find it. The next one that I'm thinking of. Oh, I forgot about this one. Remember all the animals in the forest that were making scary sounds? Yeah, they said peck, hoot, chomp, croak, hiss. Those are characters too. All right, and then the one that I'm thinking of, there's a mom and her baby. Do you remember their names? And one of them even got stuck up in the tree with Tigger. Remember them? Kanga and Roo? They're kangaroos. They are also characters in our story. And then the last one that I'm thinking of is a little boy. And all of the creatures called him to help Tigger when he was stuck in the tree. Do you remember his name? Yeah, Christopher Robin. He took off his jacket so that they could fall into it from the tree. Good job. That was all of our characters in this story. All right, and now let's think about the setting. Where were they in the story? Do you remember? Where were they at? Remember Rabbit? He got lost in what? He got lost in the woods all by himself. Yeah, that's a setting in our story. And then where did Tigger and Roo get stuck? They got stuck up in the tree. Yes, that could also be a setting in our story because we read about it and that's where they were. Okay, and then the last part that I want to talk about is the outcome of the story. So we talked about what happened all throughout the story and every step that got them to the end. But what happened at the end? So remember, they got Tigger and Roo out of the tree, and then Tigger told them, "I will never bounce again." What did they all say to that whenever he walked away sadly? Do you remember what they said? They said, "No, Tigger, we like you better when you are bouncy." So they liked him the way that he was. And he ran back to them. Bounce, 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 bounce. And he said, "Do you mean it?" And they said, "Yes, we like you the way that you are, just your bouncy old self." And he bounced away happily. And that was it. You all did such a good job thinking about our characters and our settings and the outcome of our story. Good job. I hope that you all liked our story today. And then from here on out, we can think about all of these parts of the story whenever we hear and see our books. Okay? So thank you all for joining us today. We will be back today at 12:30 for another story. So I hope to see you then. Thank you so much for joining. Bye-bye.